This is Kimberley Alexander, and you're watching The Chris Gunther Show.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Chris Gunther Show. Thank y'all so much for watching. Remember to like and share this video. I would greatly appreciate it. On today's show, we are so honored that Miss Kimberley Alexander is joining us. Miss Kimberley, how you doing today?
I am well, Chris. How are you?
I am doing great. You are the executive director of first of all, it is a great organization because it hits different because I am a Black son. So why don't you go ahead and share with us that, everything that you do with the organization that you're the executive director of.
So my journey with M.O.B.B, Black Boys United, and M.O.B United for Social Change actually started 7 years ago. Been a volunteer for that period of time, but in June, stepped into the acting executive director role. And then in September, on September 1st, actually took on the role full time as executive director. So in terms of what I handle, it is all of the facets of the organization, from hosting podcasts to fundraising to public speaking and showing up for our Black sons and their moms.
That's something that hits different, especially, from somebody that grew up in the inner city, by the grace of God, I had both parents, but it's something about a mother's love, man. It's just something that you can't describe, and it's something that, most young Black kids still need, So did you feel that there was a void that some of our young Black men needed?
I think that, obviously both parents in the household are important, but I think that there is a true dichotomy between a mother's way of rearing their children and a father's way of rearing their children. We are the heart and soul and heartbeat of households as it relates to that softness, that meekness, that love, that care. And so it's different when it comes from a mother when that child came from their womb, or just a mother's love, period, because I want to qualify that and just say that we are Moms of Black Boys United, but all of our mothers are not necessarily Black, in that they have sons who are Black, and we have some great adoptive mothers. And to that point, there is there's something about choosing to have a child, whether that's by adoption or by birth. You chose that child.
Can you share with us a little bit more about what the organization has to offer?
Absolutely. So we describe ourselves as a resource and a voice. And what we mean by that is we are two organizations in actuality: Moms of Black Boys United and M.O.B United for Social Change. And so the resource arm is Moms of Black Boys United. We want to be a resource to every mother and every family who is rearing a Black son specifically. We want to make sure that you know how to navigate systems. We want to make sure that as you show up for your child, that you have the words and the empowerment to be able to advocate for them. The 501c4 arm, which is Moms of Black Boys United for Social Change, that's where we show up for laws and legislation, where we are speaking out as an advocate for my sons and all of our Black sons, to say we need to change how society views them. We need to change how our sons are treated in the world.
What was it about the way that society was starting to treat our sons that made you say, you know what, I have to get involved because I don't want to continue to push this toxic narrative?
So I always say that M.O.B United came along at the right time, right space and place in my life. My son was 9 and I live in Texas. 10 in Texas is the age of arrest. And so at 9 years old, my son was 1 month shy of his 10th birthday, and he was 47 pounds. He was in school and accosted by his principal and 3 Texas state troopers, where he was threatened with arrest for a very innocent interaction that happened in the school. And so just a month later, Depelsha Magruder, our founder, started Moms of Black Boys United. And it was a no-brainer for me. It was my opportunity to have a platform to not only speak up and speak out for my son, but to speak out and speak up for all of the sons around the world.
What is it about your platform that allows, people to entrust their children to you?
We're a coalition of mothers. There is just something that's super unique about a mother's love. And by default, as a coalition of mothers, we're a coalition of aunties and grandmas and cousins. We all have a Black man in our lives, whether it's our husband, who is the son of someone, right? Or our own offspring, who are our children, nephews, and such. So we are unique in that we feel it personally. And it is true, and it is demonstrated by how we started. We are an organization that started on Facebook that is unique to us, right? And so within 4 months, we had 170,000 moms of Black boys say, we need to stop this. That's unheard of. And so we all felt the mission and purpose of this organization so viscerally that we wanted to be heard, make a change. And so the organizations came out of that Facebook group, so much so that we started planning almost immediately.
From the Facebook group to, how much you all have grown now, we know there has always been challenges with anything that's positive. With everything that's good, there does come some bad. But how are you able to block out the negativity and just continue to focus on the mission?
We have a 5 pillar approach, and one of those pillars, which is really pivotal for the organization, is self-care. We talk about vicarious grief and primary grief a lot. We talk about what it feels like to see a young man, boy, or even an older gentleman that looks like our sons be killed on video. We talk a lot about what it feels like to be there for each other and to show up as sister friends. And we do that a lot. And so we continue to just reiterate our self-care, practice good self-care, adequate self-care, and just try to remember that it's a marathon, not a sprint. And so unfortunately, we've been on this journey for 7 years. We know this journey is not over. We just continue to pray that one day it is. But we just have to keep in mind that we have to be whole people in order to show up as whole people.
I believe one of the best parts about us as a culture, particularly those in the Black community, is that, if you've been blessed to have a village in your life, there's an old saying that goes, it takes a village to raise a child. How blessed do you feel to be a part of the village that is raising up the next kings and queens of the next generation?
Oh, I couldn't even describe it. I come from I'm from Harlem, and I have childhood friends, and up until M.O.B.B United, the majority of my friends have been lifelong friends, and I would probably be the person who carried the picket sign that said "No new friends, no new friends," and now later, I'm speaking a different tune, right? I had to retract those words, and I truly love the sisterhood that we have built, and we have all shown up for each other for the good and the bad of life's milestones.
Showing up for each other is key. One of the things that I think I've noticed in adulthood is sometimes you cannot hang out or see your friends as much, but it's something about showing up when it's needed. You are a part of an organization that is showing up when it's needed to really have a profound impact on the next generation. And we all understand that that is not an easy thing, but what is something that you're doing to ensure that they don't that they not only can they trust you, but to ensure that you have their best interests at heart?
I think it's just what we said. We show up. I show up. And so I think part of being present in people's lives is truly being present. I use it all the time. I don't like the FEMA effect. I tell our people all the time, let me know when FEMA disappears, because the harder part is the silence in it all, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so through this journey, through COVID, through the pandemic, and just life being life, we have had to show up for deaths in our family, me included. My father passed away during this journey, and I can't tell you, I can't explain how important it was to me to have the sisterhood that is M.O.B.B United show up on my behalf. And so I think that we just have a unique way of pushing through the noise and meeting people in their silence.
What are some of the things that you guys have coming up that the people can look forward to?
Oh, we have our podcast that's launching tomorrow. Tomorrow's Giving Tuesday. It is, the National Day of Giving, picking a nonprofit organization. And so we are launching our brand new podcast. It's called The New Talk for Moms of Black Boys. And it's centered around changing how we talk to our sons. We come from an environment where parents have been forced to say stuff like, I'm going to beat it out of you until, just so no one else has to, right? I'm going to teach you how to act because I don't want the police knocking on my door and bringing you home. But we are creating trauma in our sons because of how society looks at them. And so the new talk is about changing just that. It is truly about making it a loving conversation. It's about empowering our sons, reinstilling that Black boy joy and that Black boy beauty, no matter what you look like. If you got dreads, you have an afro, if you just have twists, you have braids, whatever you choose, however you choose to authentically show up as yourself, we want to honor that in the new talk. And that is tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And it will air on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube.
I believe one of the best parts about having your own media is that you can control the narrative. And you had mentioned on something that all of us have heard in the Black community. I'm going to beat it out of you. We've all heard that. But sometimes we don't understand how traumatizing that can be. What are some of the other things that you're trying to help the young kids and maybe even some adults? What are some of the things that you're trying to help them get out of that they can become all that they can be?
We just want authenticity. We want you to know that even you, as a Black man, get to show up just as you are. And we, as moms, as parents, we will receive you just as you are, and we will advocate for you. One of the other things that we're really, really passionate about in M.O.B. United is you don't have to be the perfect child. Ages and Stages says that part of the growing process is making mistakes and learning from those mistakes. But we know that when our sons make mistakes, sometimes those things are catastrophic. We want to stop that narrative. We want to stop our sons from feeling like they need to be perfection to be protected. All of our babies deserve to be protected.
Adults need to be protected too. And I think now that I'm a little older, I can kind of see that it was great to have a village as a kid. We all needed it. But as adults, you need villages too, filled with some good people, filled with those that have pure intentions, that want to see you succeed and want to see you elevate. Who are some of the people in your village during all of this that have helped you elevate?
So my grandparents and my great grandmother have always been pivotal. My father was pivotal in my life in helping elevate me. But I also have villages in school, and I have villages at church that saw me even through all that I went through. I was a teen mom. I struggled with my own hurdles, and no matter what I did, people still believed in me and said that I could sit exactly where I'm sitting right now, that I could be someone who was a voice for others. And so I never forgot that. I never forgot people believing in me. And so that has always been super encouraging, and it continues to be.
What do you want the people to take away from your tenure as the executive director of M.O.B.B?
I think the thing to take away from M.O.B. United and my tenure is that we all matter and our sons matter. And even though we are Moms of Black Boys United, it doesn't matter what age, because you're going to always be your mother's baby. So this is not just for children who are under the age of 18, it's for any age and across the spectrum. And I just want authenticity and love to prevail across the board. And so I lead with love in knowing that love does make a difference, and every one of our Black sons matter.
How can people support, especially with all the things that you have going on? And it's great to hear, but how can people actually tap in and support to show love to the cause?
I love that question, Chris. I just love it. MOBunited.org. So it's www.mobunited.org. You can also go to our Facebook page, which is Moms of Black Boys United on Facebook. You can donate there. You can text to donate, which is text MOBU to 44321. All of those avenues work to donate, to share. But the other thing is that I do want people to know that monetarily is not the only way you can donate. Our podcast launches tomorrow. Come interact, share our posts, become part of our mailing list, and really tap into what it is that we're doing, because we are showing up and showing out.
And I appreciate you for showing up today. Before we jump out of here, if anybody wanted to connect with you or learn more about MOB United, how can they do that?
Alexander at mobunited.org.
Well, y'all heard it here first.
Me too.
I want to tell you something before we jump off. I just want to say thank you for being you, and thank you for 100% being authentic. You know, one of the things that I have learned and I'm still learning is, man, I feel one of the greatest things that the good Lord has ever made is the Black woman. I sincerely do, because y'all are awesome. Y'all are great. I don't know how y'all do half of what y'all do, but God bless y'all. So, you know, Miss Kimberley Alexander, ladies and gentlemen, on the Chris Gunther Show. Be sure to check her out on the new podcast for MOB United. In the meantime, be sure y'all like and share this video. God bless. I'll see y'all next time.